Hey folks, this is Jimmy here in strange Vermont, and I want to talk about stone tools and giants on the land. Now, it sounds crazy when you say the word giant, and I thought it was the first time I heard it. This is a shout out to Dave over at Budcat7 because he's the first one that made me aware of all the old accounts of giant skeletons being dug up in this area here in Vermont, and especially on this ridge that these things came off of. I like to call it Giant's Alley. And by giants, I mean people that were 7 feet tall, 8 feet tall, and for the time, 6 feet tall, which was tall back then. And we lovingly call them giants. And we always hear about accounts of large, tall Indians, a race of tall people. We see evidence of that, and we see evidence of even very large people in some of the stone tools we find. Most of the stone tools are normal, regular size stone tools, and that's what we have here. But we do find 1% of the axes to be very large. Many of them look very used. Hand axes that don't fit in your hand and are very heavy. Anomalies that, if you know stone tools, you know they are stone tools and they were used by someone with a large hand. It's very easy to tell, actually, because of the way they're made and where the hand fits. And a lot of tools are standardized, like these here, the shapes. They may do similar or different jobs, but the tools are standardized. They're all unique and special because the stone is unique and special. But if you need a stone to do a certain job, you get a stone that is probably pretty standardized. This is a white quartz pestle with some red ochre material or something on it. It's kind of cool because this came out of the stone wall where there's a huge chamber, and it's the part of the stone wall I call the university, where the niche is. And I think they did, well, they probably showed image stones there. They showed these stones and talked about them, and this is one of the things I found there. They were crushing up minerals. Looks like a polar bear. That blew my mind when I saw that. It was one of the first times I saw an image in a stone. And I've showed this stone many times because I love it. It's got the face of the giant. It's a piece of quartz with a very sharp and worked edge, as you can see. And this tool could have flayed a mammoth. I mean, that's how devastating this could be. And it's pretty big for a slicing or a scraper or whatever you'd call it. Fits in my hand. It's not a giant's tool, but it's got the face of a giant on it. And I say that because I find these images with this profile a lot. And I have an oversized axe, white quartz axe, with that same image on it. It's definitely a giant axe. It's outside, so I'm not going to show it to you tonight. But these show that there was someone here using stone tools. It's quite obvious and evident. If you know anything about stone tools, you'll know these are quite nice because of the stone they're made out of, which is why they were here doing this. They could find this stuff here. There's a bird in a nest. And this is a beautiful awl. I guess for punching holes in leather, I would say. Dave over at Budcat7 and I found this over at Mount Ephraim. It's a celt, I believe. It's beautiful. You can see the workmanship on it. Something as simple as this. Uses a knife, very sharp edge. These things hold a sharp edge. This type of quartz, you cut anything with that. It's light to carry around, to belong in your toolbox. You don't have to carry a whole lot of tools. That'll cut anything. The less you carried, the better for you, and the more one stone could do, the better for you. There's a paleo point. Post Ice Age, probably. That's what they say. Here's one in quartz. You don't find flaked arrowheads because they don't have quartz here. They did grinding and pecking technology here, and polishing. That's a polisher. Some sort of animal on it. It's got one horn or ear missing. They put faces and everything. Very sharp tool right there. Finger tool.